I want to talk to you a little bit, of course, about what's happening in Ukraine, the Russian war. Ukraine is still fighting for survival. But are Western governments quietly planning for a frozen conflict rather than a Ukrainian victory? What's the biggest mistake here in your assessment that the West has made in dealing with Russia?
I think in the beginning we underestimated what the Russians were, what Putin was intending to do. For a while, we also overestimated his military ability to do it. I mean, a lot of people expected when he launched the war in February of 22 that he would conquer Ukraine in, if not days, at least weeks, because we had a rather inflated view of the Russian army. So far, after nearly 4 years of war, after well over 1 million casualties, he has managed to capture 20% of the country. But his war, he's pretty determined, he's addicted to it. And then we've had sort of the backs and forths of the Trump effort. So we don't know where this is going. But for Europe, this is a fairly existential question. The defense of Ukraine today is the defense of Europe tomorrow. And that is why there is so solid support among the Europeans for the defense, sovereignty, and independence of Ukraine.
At this moment of global instability, and that's probably a bit of an understatement, but what keeps you awake at night about Europe's future? You were a former Prime Minister. What keeps you awake or concerns you about Europe's future?
That we have to strengthen our independent capabilities of different sorts. We don't want to break with Americans, but if the Americans walk away in another direction or simply take no substantial interest in European security, we have to do it on our own, undeniably. And we do face a Russian threat against Ukraine, for certainly. What comes beyond that, we don't know. I saw Mr. Putin said today that there is no plans to launch aggression against the rest of Europe. Yeah, he says that, but he says the same thing. He said exactly the same thing about Ukraine. So trust in Russia is non-existent. So we need to beef up our own capabilities in order to be able to handle more of this particular situation on our own.
Do you believe Europe can realistically defend itself without American leadership?
I think we can. We are dependent upon the Americans at the moment for what they call strategic enablers of different sorts. Some of that we can create ourselves. It will take some time, but it's not impossible. We are dependent upon them for sort of strategic nuclear deterrence. We have the British and the French nuclear deterrence, but it's not quite the same as the Russians. So there we are dependent upon the Americans. But apart from that, our combined economies are, of course, far greater than the Russian one. We have more men under arms than Russia has. But we need to do more to coordinate and strengthen our forces, no question about that.
Carl Bildt, before we leave this interview today, I have run out of time, but I just wanted to quickly ask you your proudest moment as Prime Minister of Sweden.
Bringing Sweden into the European Union and helping the 3 Baltic nations, Estonia, Latvia and Lithuania, to secure their independence.
Very good. Carl Bildt, thank you again for joining us on Sky News. It's been wonderful to chat with you.
Thank you.